Hello and welcome to Unwind Sessions, where right after my shift I give the highlights of my workday and answer any questions you might have asked on the previous session. My name is Juan. I am an English Spanish medical video remote interpreter with over 4 years of experience. Today is Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. I took a total of 37 calls today. It was a mix between video sessions and phone sessions. Although it was more phone sessions today, so it was a pretty relaxed and it was a pretty boring, uneventful day. There were no difficulties, so it was pretty easy. That was nice, but it was a little boring because it was just too easy. However, there were two things that I would like to mention about today. The first one being that a gentleman was in a session. It was a PT session, and the I knew that they were talking about the forearm because the doctor was explaining pain in the bone from the elbow to the wrist. So I knew that this is what they were talking about, and the provider asked the gentleman if he only had pain in the wrist, and the gentleman said that he actually had pain on the shin from his wrist to his elbow, on the bone of his shin. He said, tengo dolor en el hueso de la canilla de la muñeca al codo. So, in this session, since I already knew what they were talking about, and that didn't confuse me, the shin from the uh, elbow to the from the elbow to the forearm, from the elbow to the wrist. I'm sorry. I knew that they were talking about the forearm, and the way that he said it, I instantly knew, and that's how I interpreted it. I interpreted it to the doctor as the shin bone from the elbow to the wrist because I knew what they were talking about, and that's what the gentleman said. And the doctor didn't correct him on anything. Well, the physical therapist didn't correct him on anything, and she just went on with the call. And I went on with the session as well. There was no problem after that. But I wanted to mention this because if I didn't know what they were talking about, I would have probably let the gentleman. I would probably clarify with the gentleman what he meant by the shin, and he would have probably just explained it, and I would have interpreted, and that was it. But since I already knew what they were talking about, and he explained that his shin was from his wrist to his elbow, I knew that the doctor would understand, so I decided to not clarify and to just save time since I knew they would understand. I left it just as a gentleman said it, and there was not a problem. So sometimes most of the time you are going to have to leave the words as they were interpreted, as they were said. I'm sorry, unless you do not understand them. If you do not understand something, then you must clarify. That way, you can give a good rendition. But for example, if they say something out of context, then that's how you have to interpret it because that's how they said it. And most of the time, the doctor will clarify or not, and that's the way that I do it. So this time I chose not to clarify because I thought it was understood, and it really was understood. Another thing that happened today is that sometimes we get calls from Spanish speaking patients from LEPs. An LEP is a limited English proficient person. That means that they have some sort of knowledge or none in English, but they are limited by the amount of English that they know. So sometimes they give us a call, and we have to call the hospital and we have to go ahead and just help him throughout the session. And why I want to mention this is because the lady called me to make an appointment, but she did not even know the doctor's name. And she gave me a name, and I went ahead. I thought that was the doctor's name. It was the first. I thought that was the doctor's name, and then we went through the whole answering service or the prompts of the hospital until we got to the department that she wanted to talk to. But the doctor's name was never mentioned, so I actually had to choose another option. And as soon as they answered, they hung up on her or the call dropped. And we went all the way to the start, but this time I tried to make it easier and I told her if she knew the doctor's name because the name that she gave me was not mentioned on the options as a doctor. And she said she was going to look for the doctor's name and she looked for it and everything and she couldn't find it. So I told her, all right, not a problem. I mean, we got to the department, to the correct department without a problem, so let's just do it again like that. And I did. And when we got there, I never even knew the doctor's name because they just took her information and they never even told her the doctor's name or anything. But I mean, I went through all this trouble to help the lady, and at the end, she needed an appointment, and the person that makes the appointment coordinator, was not there, and she would she they told us that they would call her back. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I helped her, and it got her a call back, but I was a little disappointed that I went through all the trouble and I couldn't really help her. She only got a call back. So sometimes, I mean, that's what's gonna happen, you know. You have to interpret. You have to sorry interpret. You have to step out of your interpreter role to actually help individuals. As in this case, I actually had to do customer service um, job, I would say, and help the lady just try to get the doctor's name so the call would be easier. Make the job easier for me and make it easier for her to actually speak to the correct person. But I mean, in the end, all she got was, "We're gonna have to call you back." And one of the reasons that I really liked interpreting, I used to do work in a call center, customer service, and I really like interpreting because here you're only responsible for what you interpret, but the problem solving and everything actually goes to the person that is actually working with the LEP. So you're just there interpreting what they say, but you don't really have to get into like the customer service aspect of actually doing something for the other person. And that is one aspect that I really like over interpreting over customer service. And but sometimes as an interpreter, we will have to step out of our role and as interpreters and do a little bit of customer service. And that's actually nice as well, and I enjoy it, not a problem. But if I had to go back to a call center customer service, I probably wouldn't accept that job. Like I said, this was a pretty uneventful day. So those were the two major highlights of my day. And since I don't have nothing else to say, I guess I'm gonna go with story time today. And I'm gonna tell you the story of my first ever interpreter assignment. So this goes way back to 1996 when I was freshly arrived in the US. I had probably been in school for like 2 or 3 months at most, and we went to the furniture store with my dad. It was my mom, my dad, my sister, and I. And we just went to the store. We were all happy going to buy a new mattress. And when we got to the store, of course, my dad didn't speak English, and the gentleman that was the salesman from the store went up to us, and I honestly don't remember what he said, but he probably said something along the lines of, "Hi, how are you? How may I help you today?" And when he said that, my dad just looked at me, and then he said, "Oye, dile que necesitamos un colchón," which translates to, "Hey, tell him that we need a mattress." And then I turned over to my dad, and of course, I mean, I had only been in school for 2 or 3 months, so I knew many words, but I didn't know the word for mattress because I've never come across it in school. And I looked at him and I told him I don't know. And I mean, my dad, he has a pretty short temper and he would get mad very quickly. And I started to see his face get red and I started to see him get mad. And I just pulled a fast one. Before he got mad, I told him that the translation for mattress was actually colchon, which in Spanish, the word for mattress is colchón. So I just used that word and I gave it an English pronunciation and I told him that that was it. And then my dad told the gentleman, I'm looking for colchons. And of course, the gentleman didn't understand them. And my dad just kept on saying, colchons, colchons, colchons. and, and the gentleman was just looking so puzzled. Of course, he didn't understand them because colchons, I mean, what is a colchon, right? And my dad just looked over at me, and then I looked at the gentleman, and then I went and I pointed at a mattress that was over there. I just went, he's looking for that. And then he said, "Oh, mattress." And then my dad, he instantly went, "Yes, yes, mattress, mattress." And we went to go get the mattress, and then when we were on our way, my dad just looked at me and then he said, "Colchons." And then I knew he was mad at me, and my dad was red. He was like very embarrassed. Uh, but I mean, it was nothing major, and he didn't really get mad after that. And we still have a laugh over it. Every once in a while, I remember that story and I tell it to him, and we just have a laugh. So yeah, that was my first ever interpreter assignment, and I was not even qualified for the job or anything. I was still the LEP. So what did he expect, right? But anyways, I just wanted to share this story with you. Have a laugh since I mean I don't have nothing else to say today. There weren't that many things to talk about, and I hope you enjoyed that little story. And I would love to hear your stories, your first ever interpretations. I would like to hear how you started and how those assignments went. So that will be it for me tonight. Like always, please leave your questions in the comments and I will answer some of them in the next session. Please remember that I'll be here every Monday through Friday after work. And if I happen to not work, I will be letting you know that I will not be working on that day. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video and have not done so for more content. And don't forget to share. Thank you. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.